Today we have another strategy of war. Today's strategy of war is 17. Defeat them in detail, the divide and conquer strategy. When you look at your enemies, do not be intimidated by their appearance. Instead, look at the parts that make up the whole. By separating the parts, sowing decision and division from within, you can weaken and bring down even the most formidable foe. In setting up your attack, work on their minds to create internal conflict. Look for the joints and links, the things that connect the people in a group or connect one group to another. Division is weakness, and the joints are the weakest part of any structure. When you are facing troubles or enemies, turn a large problem into a small, eminently defeatable parts. Okay. This strategy, I know I used jujitsu in the last one, but this is the entire idea of jujitsu. Using all of your body against a smaller part of the opponent's body. So when you're in side control, you're trapping their torso and their hips with your entire body. You're taking their legs out of the equation. You're taking their shoulders out of the equation. You're pinning them down in a manner that they can't use their largest levers and their biggest sources of strength to gain an advantageous position. And this is basically what this strategy is. It's finding the weakness. Everyone has their weakness. Everyone has something about them that if you isolate that, if somebody is very quick to anger, you can isolate that anger, make them upset, make them angry, make them say something that they shouldn't say. Or if you're in a combat situation, make them step out, make them make the first move, make them throw one of those big looping hooks that you can just easily step outside of, and then boom, you got an opportunity. Like there's always something that we can pick apart against our opponent, and this is this strategy. And perhaps the greatest idea of this comes from How to Win Friends and Influence People, where the author Dale Carnegie basically states that Socrates' greatest argument was to break down the argument into individual questions. To get someone to give ground on one area of the question, to get someone to give ground in some other areas, and then boom, 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 in quick succession, he eventually destroyed that other person's arguments simply by asking questions, simply by admitting that, like getting the other person to admit that they're wrong, getting the other person to admit that in this circumstance it's not necessarily correct. In this circumstance it's also not correct. In this circumstance maybe we don't want to be this extreme, maybe we want to be more lax. And then next thing you know, the entire argument's gone. And this is the idea. Isolating and using that isolation to take advantage of your stronger forces on the weaker forces. This is perhaps best seen in the American Revolution. The reason why the American Revolution was won was because the Americans started using more guerrilla warfare tactics, more surprise tactics. They started taking out the leaders. They started fighting a little bit dirty, and because of this, they were using their ability to blend in with the crowd. They used their ability to blend in with the scenery, with the everyday civilians, and they used this to their advantage, and they basically isolated these soldiers, and it worked out perfectly. I mean, I don't have an American flag behind me, maybe I should, but you know, you see where it landed you. But on top of that, I just think this is overall a great book to read. It's very interesting, and I like the examples in this book, and it's almost refreshing because I feel like the 48 Laws of Power, I feel like the Laws of Human Nature, I feel like the Art of Seduction, like some of these are just like, yeah, this is a very niche scenario, or it like blends together all of these different topics, where this book is purely about strategy, this book is purely about war, and this is on kind of strategies to benefit yourself not just in a physical conflict but in a mental conflict as well. And it's interesting to see the both political and the physical implications of these ideas, because any strategy in this book can be used both in a corporate office or in an actual street fight or in an actual organized fight. I don't want you guys going out in the streets and fighting, but it's interesting to see, and it's interesting to, like, while I'm training, while I'm fighting, to use these tactics, and they really do work. They really do work. But yeah, go ahead, pick up this book. I'll link in the description. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for the support. It's been crazy lately. We're going to continue going through this book. I know Robert Greene did a video of like all these laws in depth, so I will eventually do a stream where I go through all of the laws, explain them, explain a little bit more of context, maybe give an example, maybe just add my own opinion on it. So that'll be fun. But I'll wait to finish this book first. So as we work our way through this, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the streams. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. We'll catch you next one.